Hello and welcome along to the Red Rose Review. This is our mid-term assessment of both the County Championship and the T20 competitions with both men's and women's cricket. I'm glad to be joined by Director of Cricket for Lancashire, Mark Chilton. Good to see you, Mark. A little bit more from you, obviously, later. Let's begin with the County Championship. And Lancashire, having played 8 games, sit at third in the table. Having won 3 matches. And Mark, just give me a brief overview of how you feel the first, well, it's just a little bit more than the first half of the summer's gone in the County Championship.
I think overall we're really quite happy with how it's gone. Obviously we'd like to have converted maybe 1 or 2 of those draws into wins, but that wasn't to be. But as you can see in the table, we're still well in the hunt, really, with the 2 other teams at the top also having had a strong first half of the year, and we've kept in touch with those teams, which was important. And I think the win at Edgbaston was really quite crucial to just keep us a little bit close to them.
That was a fantastic win and a really good chase. Luke Wells probably came of age during that innings. 175 not out was magnificent.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable knock, really, in the context of the game. And I suppose I'd been around the group enough to know that he was hitting the ball pretty well from the start of the season, and he was threatening a big score, and it almost felt like it was round the corner. But what a game to do it in, and what a situation to do it in, to actually get your side over the line. They're always often the most valuable innings. So he's been a great addition to the squad since he arrived last year. Worked extremely hard on all aspects of his game, and he reaped the rewards that day.
Started well with wins over Gloucester and Kent, and as you said, perhaps a little bit frustrating not to have won perhaps one more game, but those early wins were good.
They were, yeah, and I think being able to put out the attack that we did was important. We knew the importance of trying to take 20 wickets early on in those games. Hassan Ali joined us and really fitted in great, and he started with a real bang and made a real impact. So it was great to get some reward from him. But yeah, I mean, we've been traditionally quite strong starters for a few years now, really, with the prep we have. So, like you say, probably just a bit disappointed we didn't get one more victory in that slot of 6.
Hassan Ali has obviously been a fantastic signing for the club, but it was Matthew Parkinson who also took plenty of wickets, 25, I think, in the first half of this season. And he might not have expected to play. It's not traditionally the best time for leg spinners to bowl.
No, I think there's a couple of things there, isn't it, that we've talked about in the past, is that you're trying to find opportunities for him to play, because that's how he improves and that's how he develops as a cricketer. And, we know he's in and around the England teams, and there is a degree of responsibility for us to try and get him into those fixtures, to give him those opportunities to learn. But I think also the weather and the pitches helped a little bit. We saw that the pitches were unusually high scoring, the games were, and therefore the spinner came into the game a little bit more than you were perhaps expecting. Number of reasons for that we may have discussed before, around either groundsman's attitude to pitches, the weather, or there's been a lot of discussion around the balls as well. So really all that sort of played into the spinner's hands, really, and then he was able, like you say, to contribute really strongly.
And we've got to make mention of Stephen Croft's performances. Over 500 runs in the County Championship, averaging over 43. Yeah. Has that been a pleasant surprise for you?
Yeah, I mean, from a personal point of view, absolutely. I've known Crofty for many years, but when you get to the age and stage of your career that Stephen's at, you're not necessarily walking a tightrope, but it's difficult for clubs to really commit for much into really long contracts. And I've been there. It can be quite a difficult time of your career, but we've been very open. We've had very open discussions about all of that. And, ultimately, you want to give every player an opportunity to perform. And as much as you have an eye on the transition of the team and developing young players, if someone earns the right to play, then they should play. And Stephen definitely earned that right through pre-season, was out batting people in the practice and in nets, got his opportunity and has taken it. So, all credit to him. And, from our perspective, it's just a case of long may that continue for him, and because we know the team will benefit.
Always good to have Jimmy Anderson around, and he bowled well in some matches as well. But I get the feeling he won't be around for the rest of the summer. So the onus is going to be back on the likes of Tom Bailey. And we've signed Will Williams now as well.
Yeah, we have. So just touching on Will first, really, that was quite a long process, really. We were aware of Will's situation right back through the winter, and Will was on our radar as an overseas player, largely because we knew there was a chance that he had we knew he had a British passport, and there was a chance he could become a local player, and he had discussed sort of that might be the route he'd go down. As the way things turned out, and with injuries, we got him into the Edgbaston fixture, and things accelerated quite quickly to the point where we've now secured his services for the next 3.5 years as a local player, which I think is really, really good news for the club. And I know we like to promote our own here, and it's something I'm passionate about, but you do need to sort of dovetail that with some quality and experience, and I think Will really give us that, a really, really steady bowler who you're probably a very reliable performer. I think that what you're going to get day in, day out. So that's really exciting, and that's effective immediately. So he can start as a local player in the next fixture at Southport. So that was great news. And then with Jimmy, I suppose it was nice to get an England player. We're getting enough of them taking off us. But I think we're still hopeful we might get him for a game or two. There's the spell in July. The timings don't work brilliantly for them, but I can't see why they'd want to just shut him down for a month. So I don't think it'll be Southport, but I think there's an opportunity perhaps at the Northants and the Kent games that Jimmy might keep ticking over.
Josh Bohannon started the season really well with that double 100. Just tailed off a little bit. Is he okay? We're obviously expecting big things of him through the rest of the summer.
Yeah, I think, as you well know, it's the journey of a young or reasonably experienced cricketer. Doesn't matter how old you are. There's always a sort of fluctuation in where you're currently at, and sometimes you're flying. Look at Johnny Bairstow and the form he finds himself in now. And Josh is just going through that stage where maybe there's a lot of expectation from himself around his performance, and yes, he's had a little bit of a lull, but we also saw what quality he brought last year and at the start of the season. So, this period of the season might allow him just to reset himself, and he's had a bit of time just to get himself ready for this next championship push. And obviously we're always looking to try and develop Josh's white ball cricket as well. So, just a little speed bump that lots of cricketers get in their career, and I'm sure he'll come out the other side a stronger cricketer for it.
I'm sure he will, and somebody who's come back really strong after his injury at the end of last season and at the start of this season is Keaton Jennings. And Keaton is our Hilton Player of the Month for May. A really fine performance from him, and that was voted for by the members and supporters. And it was his 238 against Yorkshire that really featured and cemented that. So it must be good that for the team that Keaton has come back and started scoring runs again.
Yeah, and for him personally, as you mentioned, he had quite a nasty injury in the end, which was. It took a lot longer than I think everybody expected, and we were quite fortunate to some degree that a lot of that fell into the off-season. But you know Keaton as well as I do, and how disciplined and determined he is around all aspects of his cricket. So when you see a player, ticking every box and doing everything he can to try and get himself right, it's always pleasing to see them back on the park performing where they want to be. And I spent a bit of time with him down at Hampshire, and I saw, I thought his game was starting to gain really good order, and he capitalised on that. And obviously, when you've missed a bit of cricket, I think it probably just gives you that additional hunger and desire to really try and maximise your output, and that's what he's done. So, and hopefully he stays fit for the remainder of the season.
So Lancashire in a good position in the county championship. 6 games left. Obviously, we need wins, and that final game of the summer against Surrey could be the decider for the championship.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's a bit to go till we get there, but obviously these next 3 games in July, the key is to make sure we're still in contention going into that final run. We saw last year that the impact of the 100 was quite significant for us last year, so who knows where we'll be, and who knows where other teams will be going into that final phase. And I think our target has to be that we're in and around, and we're in contention going into those final games. And as you say, you know, it could play out and you have a humdinger of a fixture here that with the title deciding on it, that would be pretty exciting for everyone.
Now time to concentrate on the men's T20 Vitality Blast, with the Lightning doing what everybody hoped they would do and qualify for a quarter-final slot, finishing in the top 2, which guarantees a home tie here at Emirates Old Trafford. And Mark, there were some ups and downs along the way, but not surprising, actually, given the fact that selection has been difficult and players have been taken away and had to represent England in the tournament against Holland and the Netherlands. So overall, you must be pretty pleased to have achieved second place.
Yeah, well, it's always the initial objective, really, isn't it, to try and secure a quarter-final and, if possible, get the home quarter-final. So we've done that, and as you've said, it hasn't been straightforward. There's been quite a lot thrown at us over the last 2 or 3 weeks. You're trying to mix in playing T-Blast and 4-day cricket, which produces some challenges, but also with the various series that has been going on, we've had to sort of shuffle about. And I think you saw the value of having a settled team in that first block, where, you know, we always talk about people really understanding their roles in T20 cricket, and when you've got a bit of consistency around that, it allows players to find their feet a little bit. So getting off to that great start was a big help for us and just gave us a bit of breathing space. But, you know, it was great to get the win against Warwickshire the other night. I thought the win at Blackpool was good. You know, Blackpool was, you know, there was an uncertainty that existed around that. We hadn't played T20 cricket around that, so we didn't know quite what to expect. But I thought the attitude towards that game was excellent from the boys, and that was a great result.
Yeah, good opportunity to take T20 cricket out to other parts of the county. And Blackpool proved a pretty good venue, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I'll be honest, we don't want to take too much T20 cricket, if any, away from Old Trafford, really. We have a very strong record here, and we get fantastic atmosphere. But I'm still a big supporter of outground cricket, and Blackpool have made considerable strides in that. And you know, they've done a lot of work on their outfield, which presented some of the challenges that we've dealt with in the past. And you know what, on the day, it creates a lovely atmosphere. It's a nice amphitheatre type feel around it, and it was a really good day. Obviously, it's great when you get the result. Small ground and a flat wicket there would see a big score, I think. But you know, it was still a good experience, yeah.
One thing that I've got to say about this stage of the competition now, with Lancashire entering the quarter-finals, there's a message to the ECB here that they really must try and sort these fixtures out. You've got the preeminent county white ball competition without all its England players now. You've got the best part of 30 England players taken away from the competition, and Lancashire will be without 5 players for the quarter-final of the competition. Now, that just can't do the credence of the game any good at all. It doesn't help supporters, it doesn't help sell the game. What it does do, the only positive out of it, is it gives some of the younger players an opportunity to see how they will get on playing in first-team white ball cricket. However, I'm not sure that should be the case in such an important stage of the competition. I'm sure that's a frustration for you too, Mark.
Yeah, and you know what? I would agree with all of what you've said, but we have to, in our position, we have to deal with the cards we've got and try and be positive about that. But it is frustrating when we know that all the team, the players, the supporters, the board members, everyone at the club wants us to be successful in trophies, and there's still a chance we can do that. But there are certain things out of our control that compromise our opportunity for that, I suppose. So yes, it's a frustration, but we have to get over that very quickly and just go, right, where does it leave us? We're also in the game of developing players for England cricket, and I think that's the point that also needs to be mentioned is, you know, I know some of these players have come from other counties, but at the same time we're continuing to get people into those teams, which is again, a reflection of a lot of good things that are happening at Lancs, and we should stop and pause and just be, I suppose, just give yourself a pat on the back that we are still And I think from a player's perspective, players know that when they come and play here, they've got a real opportunity to go that step further, and that's happened on a number of occasions, really. But brilliant to see Gleeson involved. You know, I mean, from where he was in December, to get an England call-up is quite phenomenal, really. You know, I don't think no one was sure how he was going to get through the competition with the injury challenges he's had. So, you know, it's brilliant to see a player back playing and performing like he has.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And I'm not begrudging any player an opportunity to play for England, far from it. What I'm saying is that there needs to be more thought put into how these fixtures are structured, and that if you can't have a 7-day, 8-day window from international cricket to help the counties maintain their crowds and their enthusiasm for the game, then there's something slightly wrong. However, enough of that. Richard Gleeson, I thought was fantastic. I mean, I like you, was party to all his injury woes and the struggles he's had with that back injury that's basically kept him out of cricket for the best part of 2 years. To come back and bowl as fast as he has and make such an impact is absolutely brilliant. And he's been one of the key features of Lancashire's performances this summer.
Yeah, a real match winner on his day with some of what he's performed. But obviously, a lot of credit, the majority of the credit will go to Richard for his attitude and discipline around that. But I think it is worth mentioning our science and medical team that sit behind all of that, who have basically advised and guided and supported that process right the way through. So they deserve some massive credit for ultimately getting Richard to the position, and obviously the player as well. He's the one who has to go out and do it and deal with it all and deal with all the training, and that has been quite intensive for him. But to see him do what he's done, the impact and the pace he's bowled with, and you know, England recognition, we're all delighted for him. We're just a bit disappointed that he's not going to be representing us on Friday. So.
And we'd qualified before Sunday's game, but that game against the Bears here at Emirates Old Trafford was played on a lovely sunny Sunday evening in front of a really good crowd, wasn't it? That crowd surprised me a little. I didn't think there were going to be that many people here, but it was a good performance in the end.
Well, you know, it still shows the appetite for T20 cricket, and you know, I think we all knew that. Over the last 2 years, our T20 crowds have been continuing to be strong. I thought it was a brilliant atmosphere actually on Sunday, and I've had a lot of people mention that to me since. So we know that the desire and appetite is there for blast cricket, and it only sort of strengthens your point of trying to make sure we give it the respect it deserves, I suppose. So I mean, getting a home draw ultimately with some of the challenges we've got, we want to be, you know, trying to get every advantage that we have, and obviously playing here will allow us to just, you know, be comfortable in our surroundings. We know how to play on the game, on the pitch. So, you know, hopefully that just gives us that extra little lift that we need to get through Friday's fixture. Yeah,
and still plenty of experienced players playing for Lancashire Lightning on Friday. Dane Villas, the captain, who played brilliantly against the Bears. Tim David, the overseas player, who's been fantastic when he's got going, hasn't he? I mean, I've not seen anybody strike a ball quite like him, I don't think. No, and yeah, would Friday be a nice time for him to really come to the party? But he's been great throughout. His contributions in the dressing room. He's a like, as you say, he's an unbelievable ball striker, really. So, and we've got lots of people in that team and who we know are capable of putting performances in. So we're still very optimistic and positive about that fixture. Everyone's looking forward to it. I think being here and not having a long journey to sort of embark on will just give us that extra little edge. So home advantage always good to play here at Emirates Old Trafford, which brings us to the Hilton Player of the Month for June, and it's a player who's been at the club for best part of 20 years now, Stephen Croft, who we talked about a little bit earlier in the review in his county championship, but he's had equally fantastic performances through the T20, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think it's the consistency of Stephen's performances this year that have been so impressive, really. We've always known that, you know, you don't play for 20 years and not offering lots of value in lots of areas, but there's been times where Stephen probably hasn't been as consistent as he would have liked, whereas with this year, You know, he's barely missed out.
Well, he's got 422 runs in the T20, and in the middle of all that, he got 90 in the county championship against Warwickshire.
Exactly. So, you know, he's every time he's going at the crease, he's contributing really. And, you know, as we said before, it's testament to him and his attitude and his approach this season, and he deserves it all. And let's hope he can continue and get another trophy under his belt.
Well, let's hear from Stephen now. Alex Glover caught up with him at training this week.
OK, so Crofty, you've been named Chilton Player of the Month for June, voted for by members and supporters. You must be really pleased with that.
Yeah, really chuffed just to get out there on the field and represent the club, and especially at Emirates Old Trafford. It's a privilege to be out there, and to be voted for by the members is very special.
Plenty of match-winning performances throughout the month, but those two 50s at Blackpool must stand out in particular for you on your home turf.
Yeah, it was special really. It's quite a strange moment from being there as a lad and playing first team cricket and getting my first taste of county cricket, watching Lancashire down there, to actually be out there and scoring runs was quite surreal really.
And your form in the Blast has been great. You've helped the side to secure a quarter-final. Just give us your thoughts on how the lads have gone in the comp so far and looking ahead to the quarter-final on Friday. Yeah,
it's been a really good competition. I think everyone stuck the hand up at one stage or another, so it's been a real good team performance, and great to get a win for the last game, get some good momentum going into the quarter-final, and no better place to play at Emirates Old Trafford, somewhere that we've got a really good record historically, but especially the last 2 years. I don't think we've lost a game here, so really excited, and hopefully we get a packed-out ground.
And not just the Blast in June, there was also a bit of county championship action sprinkled in there. You got 90 in the win at Warwickshire. That was quite a famous win on the last day. Just kind of give us a bit of reaction to that and how much the lads enjoyed that game.
Yeah, it was a really great game. Luke Wells played one of the best, probably fourth day innings you'll see. We were probably underdogs for that game going in to that last innings. We played some good cricket. But yeah, that fourth day was a really special win for the lads, and obviously got us back up to third in a sort of quite congested county championship table. So it was a really vital win. It was much needed. And
we're kind of at the halfway point of the season now. We're still in both competitions. We've got the Royal London Cup to come as well. The mood in the camp must be really good amongst the lads.
Yeah, really exciting times to be in a home quarter-final, to be in with a potential to finish near the top at the county championship is really exciting, and we all know the One Day Cup last year was great to see that blend of experience and youth, some gems unearthed from the Lancashire lads. So I presume it'll be similar this year as well. So really excited times in the next few months to come.
Perfect. Cheers, Crofty.
Thanks for that, Stephen, and best of luck to you and all the team in the quarter-final on Friday. My thanks to Mark Chilton for being here for this Red Rose review. We'll be back again later in the summer. And don't forget, there's plenty more cricket coming up at Emirates Old Trafford, and you can get tickets for all games by visiting the Lancashire Cricket website. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.